Hello everyone, this is Source Codex, aka Jazz Fusion Guy, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about my work area and things that I've done, things that my wife has done for me, and the possibility of there being things that might work for you. Now, first off, let's put some light on the subject. I'm going to turn on my Harbor Freight LED light, nice and bright, and a good old fluorescent shop light, which was here when I moved in. So, one good thing that you really need for a shop is illumination. If you don't have that, then you're going to wind up having the possibility of not being able to see what you need to see. Now, this garage came with your regular old pegboard, and there was some goodies like that were already there. But my wife, being the organizational type that she is, she went and bought several things for storing my different tools and whatnot. Some of them are really long, which is great. And you can buy baskets or like wire shelves, so to speak. These work great too. You see, I've got them here, here, and here. And oh, how organized it is. But you know what? I know where everything is in there. And if your shop is like my shop, you're going to know where everything is. So, you got your long stuff up out of the way. Got your several screwdrivers. These guys here for working with wood. A flurry of different oddball things here. Various headlamps. I have two because if one's battery goes out, I put the other one on and it is good to go. Now, I find organizational wise, I really like these magnetic cups. Got this at Harbor Freight, and it's great for organizing your various screws whenever you need them. Like, you might think, why do you have this landscaping screw here? Well, really good reason. When I go on vacation, I take that screw out that's in a pre-drilled hole, and I have one there, and I put these screws through the door into the door jamb so tight that this can't even hardly turn this, and were someone to knock the glass out and try and unlock and come in my garage, they can't get in because the door will not open. And of course, I've got a secondary door to the garage, and I've got a really good security system everywhere. So if anybody does get in, the police will be here in less than 5 minutes. Now, I find that one of the main things you're going to need and use over and over again, at least in my shop, is a cordless drill. And I have my bit ready to go. Let's talk about batteries. I picked up this guy in an estate sale. So I've got this backup guy, a little lower power, but he's okay. So where do I keep all my battery charging devices? They're all here. And just to be safe, in case one of these guys overheats for some reason, it's not going to catch wood on fire. It's sitting on brick and sitting on granite. And you can see I've got more than enough batteries here. This charger I never use. Now, got this drill press. It was given to me by a friend. Hardly ever use it. I used it one time, and what was that for? To drill new holes in a belt. But you know, it worked. Now, if you don't have one of these guys here, a bench grinder, I'm telling you, it is so useful. There are so many things you can do with it. Also, I highly recommend in your shop, you get yourself a saw like this, a 10-inch saw. So you can cut things at angles or straight on. You can pull this guy up and down, or you can pull this guy this way and that way. And if you look at any of my other videos on my channel, you'll see that I built a really nice set of floating decks and steps. Everything just about was done with this guy here. Now, in a pinch, when I needed more RPMs, I used this old Craftsman saw here that was plugged in. And also, for getting things done quick, a nice cordless circular saw is great. If you really want to rip into stuff, guys, if you don't have a Sawzall, get one. Because it'll be one of those tools you didn't know how much you needed it, and you will use it over and over and over again. I have a pruning blade on it because I cut a lot of branches and trees and even bamboo rhizomes. Now, another nice thing to have in your shop, if you can find one online, is a mat like this that you can put in front of your work area, because it really takes care of your feet and you don't wear your feet out. I mean, you see that? There's the impression of where my shoes were. So that's nice. That's really nice to have. Now, something else that you will find yourself using over and over and over again in your shop, orbital sander. I highly recommend you get yourself a Bosch. That's what this guy is. There you go. Orbital sander. You will use it over and over and over again. Now I've got my various other things in different storage manners. Might need these one day, so I have a bunch of them. I totally have a bunch of sandpaper for the old orbital saw. You need that. All this is stuff for my chainsaw, which I have. And like I say, it all comes in handy. This is something in my other videos you'll see. This is a very small handheld chainsaw, which is great for getting in close. Now, one thing I do that probably a lot of people don't do, and they ought to do, is save your leftover wood from jobs. I've even got bamboo. This stuff comes in handy even when you don't think it will. For instance, when I'm really needing to wrench and get leverage on something, this piece of bamboo here that I put over the wrench, it gives me a whole lot of leverage. So most people will use a pipe. That works good too. My junky looking area in the corner, it has a whole lot of long things as far as tools go. This extender pole and this doohickey up here allows me to clean off the top of my gutters that have a leaf guard on them. So there's some tools up there. Well, let's see what else I can talk about that makes good sense to do. I mean, it sort of looks cluttered, but it isn't really. Now, one thing I find is good to have is when you're doing a job, it's nice to have a cup that you can take with you for organization. I don't know why that's there, so we'll put him away. But I changed a LED light in the bedroom upstairs, and I had to take a lot of stuff off that wasn't going to work. And there it is, I have it. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. If you're like me, if you don't have a radio in your garage, then you get yourself a Bluetooth speaker.
Battery full. Connected to JOHN sensor.
And let's turn on some jams. And there we go. My kind of background music. If you've got magnetic stuff, a good place to keep it is on something metal. I happen to have my breaker box here, and it works just fine. So let's look at some other organizational ideas. Oh, I highly recommend you get some nitrile work gloves to wear. They've come in so handy for messy jobs. Keep my electrical whatnot work, and this thing, organization. I keep other tools all together, organized, so I can get at them when I need them. Different bits, different drills, bits, sockets. You know what that is. And I got a little bit of everything in here. Modified punches, screwdrivers and whatnot. This comes in handy for adding to your cordless drill to extend its reach into small, narrow places. Now let's see if I can find something else in here I really like to use. It comes in handy a whole lot. Now, let's get this out of the way. He's looking, and will he find it? Is my organization breaking down on me? Well, I think it did for this time. I was looking for a flexible, oh, here it is. I knew it was close by. One of these guys. It's really handy. You attach this to your drill. Here's your bit. I've been looking for that bit. So anyway, this enables you to drill around the corner. You catch my drift. Alright, various chemicals and whatnot that I might use, I just sort of keep them in the back out of the way, just like this. Got my shop towel here, fire extinguisher over there. It all comes in handy. A bazillion different scissors here, shortcut saw, little brooms for cleaning up an area quick. You don't need a shop vac, just sweep it into the garbage. And like I said, these little organizational things help. If you've got a shop, you need to have a vise. It's very important that you have one. Now, I borrowed this thing from my wife, and it comes in very handy because I can store assorted whatnots that I may need at some point. Manuals back in here, sanding blocks here, putty there. I sell a lot on eBay, and one thing I like to do is I'll keep fragile stuff ready for eBay stuck in here. Here is my, oh my gosh, what gloves am I going to wear? What hat am I going to wear? So you get the idea. And here is what every shop tool area owner needs. The drawer is full of this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. Yep. And there is some rhyme or reason to things. Like, here is some nuts. Here is washers. They kind of live together. Here's some bolts of some sort. Bazillion screws. And let me tell you, these things here that you get with stuff when you buy stuff, they're basically worthless. I don't know why I'm keeping them, but I do. I'll talk about the good ones later. All your various punches. The more punches you have, the better off you will be. Every shop has to have the ubiquitous duct tape and glues, stuff like that. And the storage area continues. Here I have all the crazy Allen wrenches that come with all the crazy things that you buy. Here's a favorite of mine. It's got a handle on it. So just organize your mess. Trying to find out where your receipts were when you bought something? Well, stick them in a drawer. Okay, let's look at my other tool area. Oh boy, I got a whole nother shelf of goodies. So down below, this is all my various paints. Let's move this guy out of the way here. Here's my all-purpose spackling down here. A lot of good stuff. And you know, in a garage, if it's not going to go below freezing in your garage, you'll be all right. But if you've got a storage area and you have paint in it and it's going to go below freezing, it's going to ruin your paint. So don't store your stuff in a garage that's going to get that cold. So I've got these big storage trays. I don't even know where they came from, but man, they work great for putting all your various tools in that you need quick access to. Guys, you would think a bolt cutter or a chain link cutter is not going to be a good thing to need. If you have one, you will use it over and over and over again. Trust me on that. You can never have too much stuff to tie things up with. That's always good. I've got all my picture hanging stuff organized. There you go. I've got all my magnetic things together. Yes, I am a nerd. I love magnets. Y ties, zip strips, you name it. Let's keep it all together, guys, so we can find it. And there's some other oddball tools that are stuck here. Okay, I was talking about the comparison of the lame versus the good. These guys here, they blow. And again, I don't know why I have it. If you want to hang stuff up and it not come down, you need to get easy anchor drywall anchors. You make yourself a slight starting hole, screw these guys right in, and then it comes with the screws that go into them, goes to the sheetrock. I'm telling you, unless you got crap sheetrock, these are not coming out. So, here they are. And this is all my fastening whatnot. Screws, nails, staples, whatever. It's all here. Yeah, I might have to dig into it to find exactly what I need, but I know it's all here what I need. Clamps, they're all here. I've got all kinds of clamps. Now my wife, she always kids me and says, "You have too many hammers." In my opinion, a man has never, ever got too many hammers. This is perfect. This is exactly what you need. Hammers for busting brick, stone, little mini sledgehammers for getting down to it. And this is my favorite anti-vibration hammer by Stanley. Again, it's all together where I can find it. Need to rip stuff up, pull stuff out. Keep that right where your hammers are, because you are going to need it. Now, as far as levels, I've got this guy over here because he's lived here for years. Let's look at my other levels. They're kind of spread around. Level, level, level. Now, let's talk about my king of levels over here. This was a gift from my father-in-law. This level is the Ecotech with bamboo. I love it. I'm just gonna sit it right here for right now. I'll put it back where it's supposed to be later on. Now, if you want to be sure that nobody can see in your garage, window film works great. It lets light in, actually kicks in a nice rainbow sort of light. And I have the same window film over here. Nice way to let the light in. Okay, one last organizational area in the garage. Let's take a look. I inherited this tool stand. It's heavy duty plastic with all these holes for putting things in, and I keep various tools in here, sledgehammers and whatnot, pruners. It works great. Got a hanger here for my various long extension cords. More chemicals down in here. Yard stuff there. The ice stuff there, the poison there. No real organization, but you get the idea. You can be organized if you want to. So you can find what you need when you need it. One other organizational thing you can do in your garage if you don't have the storage to store extra foodstuffs and your pantry is overloaded, you can build your own storage unit. And this is a good size one. So we've got all of our extra goodies here. And this is a nice project you could take care of. Now, being somewhat inventive, my wife decided to keep stuff from falling off. We went ahead and got heavy duty cardboard and attached it to the edge of the shelves, staple gunned them in, and nothing is sliding off. So that's just one last idea before I sign off. So thanks for looking with me at my garage and the this, that, and the others. Ideas, things you can do to be a little bit more organized, to be a little bit safe, and get your mess out of the way. Probably the nicest thing I think in this garage tool area is this footrest absorbent rubber mat here, and it's got your yellow line here to say, whoops, watch out, don't trip over it. But you know, it works great. Well, it's time for me to go back in the house. It is freaking almost 90 degrees in here. We're having that blistering heat wave in the south. It's supposed to get up to 101 today. All right, it's Source Codex, aka Jazz Fusion Guy, signing off.